another episode of the 920 Show. We are flying through the spring. It is already the end of March. We got a big snowstorm, and now it's starting to melt again. You're starting to see some green poke through the snow.
It was melting that day. It was literally melting that day.
That was crazy. That was,
I'm shook to my core.
Well, yeah. What did we end up having? Like 16 inches?
Yeah.
When you had an influence?
The weather, I was looking at the weather all week, and it was like 1 to 3, 1 to 3, 1 to 3. Friday afternoon, 1 to 3.
Yep.
Saturday morning.
1 to 3, 1 to 3, 1 to 3.
Gets dumped.
I woke up on Saturday morning to a thread in our work
I was like
group chat and I was like, what are they talking about? And I opened my window.
Haven't looked out my window, and I'm like, it's like literally my patio door is just my window, like it's the whole wall. I open it up and I'm like, oh my god. I had to get my light shovel because it was over my snowblower, and I had to knock it down. Like what?
Yeah, it was crazy, but the weather has turned, and we are.
And now I see grass again. So.
All eyes on spring and summer, which is what we've been doing over these last few weeks.
Yeah.
I hope everyone's kind of enjoyed this little sneak peek into what spring and summer travel will look like here in Green Bay this year. And this week is no different. We are welcoming on to the show Justis Tenpenny. Awesome name.
Yeah.
I said, I won't say it. It sounds like a superhero disguise name. Okay. What?
You're funny. Anyway.
So Justis, what doesn't this man do?
Oh my god, he has like 9 jobs.
It
Literally.
is insane. So we actually dove into a bunch of different stuff with Justis. Let me just go back to my notes here real quick so I make sure we kind of tease everything that's coming up. So we have
National Railroad
Museum, of course, which has a great event coming up this weekend. If you're looking for some pre-Easter festivities in the bunny train, we talk about that and all of the upcoming summer events. Then we also talk about his involvement at Napalese Lounge and Pride. Oh. Yeah, Pride. It was Pride Alive. He dropped what the new they did. He said pre-COVID they did some rebranding, so it was like Northeast Wisconsin Pride. Something. I'm really sorry, Justis. I'm really sorry I forgot the rebranded name. I know it is Pride Alive. It is a great event that happens in September here in Green Bay for members of the LGBT community, but anyone can go. I used to go all the time when it was walking distance from my house. It was awesome. Yeah. We actually stumbled upon it once. So my wife and I were out, we were dating at the time or engaged or something like that, but we were living together over on the corner of Baird and Mason near downtown Green Bay, and they used to have Pride Alive at Joanne's Park. And we just were walking by just out for, whatever. Yeah. It was a summer night and it was nice.
Oh, there's people over there.
And it was like this massive, so many people. And we went in and had probably one of the most fun nights. And then we went back the next year with my sister-in-law after that.
I love it.
We used to have the cups. They had these sick custom cups it was an awesome logo. It said Pride Alive on it. It had the year on it. I think they must have got lost in the move.
We should get those. That'd be cool.
Would discover
cups. Cool cups.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Sure. So yeah, and I thought Justis was I learned so much,
just in general,
just about, living in the LGBTQ plus community, what that experience is like here in Green Bay. The work that Justis is doing is incredible with the organizations that he works with. So really enlightening conversation. So take a listen. But let's take a look back real quick. This is going to be fast because Justis was a talker.
Can we just circle back to my weekend?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you woke up with the snow.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, okay, well, I just planned literally an entire weekend trip for an influencer.
You planned the Wisconsin couple.
The Wisconsin couple.
Luckily, they were the Wisconsin couple because they knew how to deal with snow.
They knew that it was snowing. So they were from Baraboo. So shout out to them.
I think DJ's from Baraboo.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyway, cool. So yeah, they were familiar with the snow, but we were both under the impression that it was going to be 1 to 3 inches. It was not 1 to 3. It was like 16. So they did a really good job at pivoting the plans.
Pivot. Sorry for the Friends reference.
Rip. Anyway. And yeah, they ended up just doing like a brewery tour with their dogs, which was really cool.
Those dogs were so cute.
Paps and Liney.
What names? Great names.
And they're girls. Both girls.
Adorable.
I'm obsessed. Anyways, I almost rescued a dog this weekend. Oh, yeah, I already talked about that.
Well, you will talk about that.
Yeah, I will talk about that.
A little time travel here.
Yeah. So, anyway, that was my weekend. What did you do?
We had a pretty chill weekend to start. This is really the last weekend that we have where we don't have, like, really big plans. So next weekend is not the first and second is this weekend, but next weekend, the weekend after, we have some friends coming into town that are staying at Lodge Kohler and doing the whole Green Bay thing. My buddy grew up in De Pere. We went to school together, but he's moved out to La Crosse. Him and his wife live in La Crosse, and so they're making a little day trip out of it. So that'll be fun. And then this weekend, we have little Miss Gabby's baby shower at the Drift Inn.
Tell her I said congrats.
You can come.
I should make her something.
I don't know. They won't tell me the name of the child. It's a boy. I know that.
Well, I mean, you got to know that.
Yeah.
They didn't even have to tell you that.
You're right. They didn't have to find that out.
Did they do a gender reveal?
No.
Oh, my word.
Those are the stupidest things in the world.
I know. It's getting,
No.
overplayed.
And I never did one with either of my kids.
It wasn't trendy when your kids were born.
No. That's when it was very trendy. That's when it, like, started.
Really?
Yes. And people, like, we had people asking us, like, if we were going to do it. And we're like, no. We're going to sit in the doctor's office, and they're going to tell us.
Anyway.
Yeah. So we had a pretty chill weekend because we have so much, like, coming up. And more basketball. That's not...
a thing, and gymnastics.
Yeah, and gymnastics. Yeah, that's tonight, actually.
I know, I saw it on your calendar.
Of course it is. But it was my dad's birthday, 62. It was my dad's 62nd birthday.
Cute. He really is.
He's just me, or I'm just him. I don't know how that works, but I look very much like him.
He's cute because he's old.
Yeah.
So.
No, he's like an older version of me. Like, we have very similar personalities as well. So he hadn't been on a Lambeau Field tour. He said he went on one many years ago with work.
You're doing the Lambeau experience?
Yeah. So I've been on so many Lambeau tours.
Word, I know. Yeah.
And they wanted to do the 2-hour one, and I didn't think my kids would last 2 hours. So we actually just met them at 1919 for dinner. I have a few pro tips for 1919.
Okay.
We had 8 people.
I've never been.
Shut up.
Nope.
All right, we're going there for lunch, for marketing lunch.
What about the OC?
You haven't been to 1919, Katie. We're going there.
Yeah, never been. Anyway.
So, 8 people.
Okay.
Gabby, Joe, parents, me, Katie, kids.
9 people. There's a baby in her belly. Moving on.
Fair. So, I got 2 orders of cheese curds for an app.
I heard they're fire.
They're so good. And sometimes you get cheese curd orders, and it's like, little basket. No, this is a bowl of cheese curds. We had so many.
You got 2 orders?
Yes.
Like for the table?
Yeah, okay. For the table. For like, because, it was we were at a high top table, and it was like long.
Yeah.
So I figured.
You were giving very touristy vibes, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Tourist in your own town, man.
That's a fun way to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So for 8 people, and, we're not small, and we're all big eaters.
Yeah.
So, like, right? 2.
Living your best life. That's fine.
Dude, we had a whole order left over.
Really?
Yeah. I did not realize how big they were.
Are they super rich?
Yeah, they're pretty rich. Yeah. They're Parmesan crusted.
Yeah.
So
that's a major flex on them, honestly.
And I forget what the sauce is called, but they have like regular like ranch.
Zesty ranch?
No, it's like some play on a marinara sauce. It's almost like a vodka sauce.
Oh my word, that sounds heavenly.
It's so good. It's really good. Yeah, so we did that, and that was Saturday. Yeah, that was Saturday night. My dad announced he's going to retire. Shout out Mike Meisner, April 17th. Oh, I hope nobody he works with listens to this, because I don't know if he told them yet. I just remembered that. Do I edit this out?
I don't know.
I don't think I am. Sorry, Dad. I'm on a time crunch here. I got to get this out by Thursday afternoon. I don't have time to edit that.
Make that for him. Anyways, right. I have one other thing I want to share.
Yeah. Let's.
Are you done with your weekend?
Yeah, it was a great weekend.
I went to Maine Oriental Market.
Ooh, what's that? Tell me more.
It's an Oriental Market.
On Maine?
Yeah. I'd never been before. But I saw it last time I was at Boba? Pink Guava. Last time I was there. It's right next door. And yeah, because I've been on a really sweet ramen kick lately.
Oh, I made some ramen. It was so good.
Fire. It's like definitely my comfort food. So yeah, I got all the supplies there for it, and it was just really cool, and it was a good experience.
You were going to tell me the name of that sauce so I could make my next ramen with it. You don't have to tell me now, but I'm just reminding you.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, can you bring something so I can try it first before I go and buy some?
Yeah, it's freaking hot.
See, I'm not a hot.
I'm not either.
Even at like Legend Larry's for wings, like I don't go above like.
I'm a wimp with hot stuff.
Like I go like garlic parm and buffalo.
Yeah. It's very hot, but like.
Worth it though, or?
Major flex. It also really did hurt my stomach, but it was worth it.
Why do you guys do this to yourselves?
It was worth it. And I also used to eat hot Cheetos every single day in high school. And
that's probably...
That messed me up. Yeah. So I thought I could handle it. Anyway, but God. Moving on. Yeah. Random offshoot of the podcast. Okay, moving on. What's going on this weekend?
Let's check it out.
The bunny train is going on this weekend.
The bunny train is going on this weekend for sure.
There is a gambler's game.
Yes, there sure is.
Oh, the Blizzards game, which I will be attending. See you there.
Is this your first one?
It is.
Oh, can I make a request?
Sure.
Like real time like job assignment?
Yeah.
Will you blog it?
Yes, my niece is going though. She is dancing at the halftime show. So.
Sounds like very cute content.
It is. She's like 7, so I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
Also going this weekend, Vintage Market at Badger State Brewing.
Did you look at this before?
I did, only because I have an influencer coming this weekend also.
Oh.
So I'm like really caught up on it right now.
We should talk about that. There's fishing.
Yes, the walleye run is like insane right now.
The walleye run is crazy for you fishermen out there.
Yeah.
Fox
River is loaded with boats.
What did somebody say? Like you could walk across the Fox River on boats right now.
Yes,
just walking from boat to boat. It's absolutely insane.
So
it's so cool though.
Yeah, she's coming this weekend to get some fishing in. She's staying at the Crest Inn. Shout out to Pat,
Pat.
For being a real OG.
Yeah, no, he's the best.
Yeah, he's been great to work with. So she's hanging out there for the weekend and having a little dip here.
Flipping the calendar to April is giving
wild.
me anxiety.
I know. So yeah, there's a ton going on this weekend. I probably missed a few, but those are the ones that I know for sure.
Well, I am hitting apply on my filter on greenbay.com/events.
Okay.
So.
You didn't hit apply. You just hit map view. Nick, what are you doing, my guy?
There we go.
there we go.
You got the Blizzard game.
Yep.
Looks like there's some live music at the Lyric Room. Broadway Extravaganza.
Oh, yes. How could I forget about that? The Broadway Extravaganza is going on. I think they just like hide eggs downtown, and it's like a whole thing of a thing. Yeah, that should be fun. Potential. Never mind. Teaser.
Okay. No, I was just clicking into it to see if there's anything else besides what you had already said.
I mean, I think I just like shop in the local shops and all the things.
There's an egg hunt all over the district. Yep, for sure. Concert over at SNC at Deadly Birder. Ooh.
Oh, the astronomers are this weekend, aren't they?
Oh.
Yes, they are. They're this weekend at the Meyer.
Okay. But can we talk about this?
I don't know if they have tickets anymore.
Really?
I'm not sure. But Taste...
well, let me click buy tickets and see if it's available. Waitlist sign up. So you can...
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a wait list for Gather Let's Brunch. If you remember a few weeks back, we had Tommy and Steven in. this looks like Jill in this picture,
and
that stack of pancakes is crazy.
Iconic, and also that's a really cool marketing photo.
It is.
Steven, you're doing great, my guy.
Major flex.
Also, what else is going on?
We got yoga's back at Paradise North. Lift your spirits. Yoga.
Punny.
Very punny. Ew. Okay, that needs to get removed. Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No, it's Pipers. I was seriously so shook to my core when I saw that because the Red Hot Chili Peppers was not my age demographic at all.
I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I saw that
Dream of California. Sorry.
They're headlining at Lollapalooza, and then I saw them also performing at the Ash Robin on PAC, and I was like, something's not lining up. I'm so confused.
Yeah. No, it's the Red Hot Chili Pipers.
It's the Pipers.
Yeah, and you're right. The Astronomers at the Meyer Theater is this weekend as well.
I know. Did you know that they're from Oshkosh?
I did. And I didn't realize how big they had gotten.
Oh, my word. Yes.
Yeah.
They play, I know the song. I can't think of the name. I don't know. They
sing it.
A really popular song. I can't think of the name.
Sing it.
I don't.
You know the words.
Hold on.
Okay, I'll keep going. Winter Market on Military, Vintage Market. We talked about the Great Bunny Train. Whoa, what is this? Oh, Epic. Epic back in a big way. Static X with Fear Factory, Dope, and Mushroom Head.
Yeah, that's on Monday evening, I believe.
Is it? April 2nd?
Yep, Monday.
Okay. Well, we won't record until next Wednesday, so
valid.
The people should know.
Pretty valid.
Alrighty. Well,
and the Great Bunny Train.
We said it like 4 times now.
Guys, the Great Bunny Train is this weekend.
Walk-up tickets available.
Yeah. All right, let's send it.
All right, let's send it over to our conversation with Justis Tenpenny from Napalese, from the National Railroad Museum, from Pride Alive. All the things. He stays busy. What can I say?
Jobs.
Enjoy the conversation, y'all. Welcome back to the guest segment here at the 920 Show. We are once again in the Edge VR studios where you can come and get all your gaming needs. It's a great time. I know our guest just tried it out. Maybe we'll ask a little bit about that, but we will get right into it. We have Justis Tenpenny on the show. Awesome name. Great name. Iconic. 10 out of 10 name.
Thank you.
And he is the Marketing and Communications Director for the National Railroad Museum. Pretty fresh in there, right?
Yeah, this is about 3 weeks in now.
Nice. So that's we'll get more into the National Railroad Museum, but we've got a ton of questions for you. But speaking of Edge VR Studios, how was that your first experience today, pre-show, doing VR?
Yeah, it was. So I think I have to thank you for showing up a little late today.
Yeah,
that gave me the opportunity.
That doesn't happen too often. I don't get thanks for my tardiness.
That was my first time. Staff here is really great. I got a little tour. They hooked me up, explained everything to me. So that was really, really awesome for them to do that. But yeah, I went up to the top of a skyscraper. Heights, not really a big fear of mine.
Yeah.
Until they told me to just jump off the side of the building, and I was like, I'm not so sure.
Yeah. No, I've said that. I'm usually fine with heights as well.
Yeah.
But like, if you give me that sensation of falling off a building, like, I'm going to be a little nervous.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
yeah. Your body's definitely like, I know I'm on the ground, but I'm also falling at the same time.
Yeah.
So
you were pretty good when you did it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
You went and grabbed that piece of cake or whatever it was, like, first try, right?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. It took me a few tries. She smoked me. And some of the journalists we had here, they were pretty good too.
Yeah, they were. That was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a while ago now. We need to do that again. All right. So anyway, wanted to let's chat with Justis a little bit here. So first and foremost, kind of starting from the beginning, you grew up in Milwaukee.
Yeah. So born and raised in Milwaukee. Had the full-on Milwaukee public school experience.
Oh yeah.
So,
Which school did you go to?
So I went to Hamilton.
Okay, I don't know where that one is.
Yeah.
I lived in Milwaukee for a little bit. I was across the street from an MPS high school.
Nice. Yeah.
Apartment building.
Yeah, they're about 4,000 to 5,000 students when I went there.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
yeah, it's a very, very big high school. So experienced all of that. Moved to Green Bay. for college. So I went to the University of Wisconsin Green Bay.
Nice.
Didn't want to be too far away from home, big mama's boy, but also didn't want to be anywhere near home.
Right,
so
right.
2 hours felt like it was it. Coming to Green Bay was like a culture shock for me.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah. So I remember distinctively my freshman year, I was with a friend who is from Luck, Wisconsin, which is a very, very small town that borders Wisconsin and Minnesota. And she had said to me at the time, I've never seen so many black people in the same place before. And my response was, I've never seen so many white people in the same place before.
Yeah.
It was crazy to me because I'm used to being surrounded by people of color and just different cultures and different experiences. And Green Bay isn't always like that, you know? So, but it's really grown on me. And I think I love all the opportunity there is to bring those things to Green Bay and all the amazing people that are working to be a more inclusive community and stuff is really awesome.
Right.
For sure. So moving from Milwaukee, coming up to UW Green Bay, you mentioned that, you know, the distance and proximity was a draw, but what kept you at UW Green Bay? Like I went there, I kind of I've talked about this on the show. I was a non-traditional student. I was a commuter student. I really didn't have like the traditional student experience. So I always like to kind of ask people who did, like, what was it about UW Green Bay and the community that kept you there for, I believe you said all 4 years, right?
Yeah, all 4 years. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's for me, I had a lot of friends on campus. I really liked the program that I was in. It was in the communication program. I felt like I was learning from professors who were very, very skilled in the field. You know,
Clampett, those guys. Yeah.
Yep. It's hard to beat that kind of education.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like they offered a great education and communication program there. So I was really into that. I was involved in student government a little bit.
Oh, nice.
So that was fun. Yeah, but I think I actually ended up moving off of campus at the start of my junior year.
Okay.
So I think a lot of my friends were a big factor in probably staying, but also it's a little comfortable feeling too, because Green Bay, even no matter how long you've been here, it kind of just feels like home already.
Yeah.
Right.
So it just kind of has that vibe to it.
Definitely. So I have to ask, and this is a little inside baseball for our listeners, but did you take cases, and what was your case?
I did take cases. So my case was, let me see if I can remember. So our big case was we had the Hemsworth brothers.
Oh, okay.
So we had the North Face was our company.
Yeah. Isn't one of them a cannibal or something like that?
No. So what we had was...
No, that's a different guy.
So we had the North Face, and our case was that the Hemsworth brothers were wearing a bunch of our gear when they decided to climb a mountain. And then, like, one of them died, and then one of them was, like, maimed for life, and then the other one was, like, really pissed off. So that was part of it. But I remember that. I feel like we actually got off kind of easy. And I could say that now that I'm graduated. I'd never say that to Phil to his face. But there was somebody who had Lego for their company.
Yeah.
And it turns out that there was like some secret terrorist working for Lego that was like building a bomb to blow up a mall. And
Jeez.
I was like, man, you guys really did not get off easy on that.
I guess I got off easy. I had Oakley.
Okay.
Was our group's brand. Yeah. And the big case was that it was causing cancer in the inner ear. There was a chemical that they were wrapping the tips of the glasses in that was causing like some inner ear cancer. So it was, yeah, it's an intense one. It is for sure. So kind of on that same subject, what drew you into marketing communications? Why was that your chosen career path? Was it something you always wanted to do, or was it something you kind of figured out later?
Yeah, I don't think it was something that I always necessarily wanted to do. I mean, I love to talk. That's a big part of it, but for me, growing up was always growing up was challenging for me. So like I grew up, and I was probably about 11 years old when I knew that I was different than everybody else who was around me. I knew that I was gay at a super young age, but like I didn't have support within my family. I didn't have support at school. I don't have a lot of the things that kids have now, like GSAs and supportive guidance counselors and faculty members. But I just kind of remember it being really, really hard growing up, and just kind of like the bad mental space that I was in. And at about 15 years old, I told myself that what I wanted to do with my life was to make sure that nobody felt the way that I felt.
That's powerful.
So when I had decided that that's what I wanted to do, I had to figure out the best way to do it. And to me, marketing and communication skills are intangible with social change, right? Because as many great ideas as people have, it's about telling the story, it's about executing those ideas, it's about getting that word out about those ideas. And I love to talk, so
put that all together,
right? So it just kind of fit, and I feel like probably after I graduated, maybe about a year after that, I was actually working in Chicago after I graduated, working down there in the governor's office. But when I came back, I feel like is when I really, really hit my stride, because I had kind of figured out like who I was, what my identity was, and finally became more comfortable with that. So if you can imagine, it was about 12 years of that, which is difficult. It made me feel like I was behind everybody else, both in like education and just like general development, because I was dealing with other things that straight people don't deal with, Right. So I feel like that's when I really hit my stride. And then I realized that doing marketing and communication is also part development, part events, part having ideas. And it just really seemed to fit what my big extroverted personality is. So I mean, it just kind of clicked. So.
Okay. No, that's a great story, and I didn't have the same experience growing up as you, and so hearing that, and you bring up so many things that I never had to consider. Do you feel like we've made strides today for kids in your position?
Yeah, I think like there's a lot of progress that's being made, and there's a lot of things to be happy about, So like Green Bay Area Public Schools has a GSA in all of their middle and high schools.
I'm sorry. Can you GSA? Can you?
Yeah. So GSA either is referred to as a gay straight alliance or a gender and sexualities alliance. They had a little rebranding BC before COVID. So, but yeah, every middle school and high school in the Green Bay Area Public Schools has one. I've worked with some awesome people in the district to bring some of that programming and those activities to elementary school students, which a lot of people will tell you that it's not necessary, but the average age that somebody knows that they're gay or lesbian is 10 to 12 years old. So, I mean, we're talking about kids who are in like the 4th and 5th grade are kind of understanding that they're different than what society tells them is normal, which I fit right into that category because I was in 5th grade, so there's a lot of strides that are being made. Unfortunately, what we see now throughout the nation and even throughout some of our own communities around us is that as much progress is being made, there is a lot of pushback on that progress and a lot of things that are difficult for our trans family members who are having difficulty accessing basic human needs like healthcare or access to shelter or even just food security, So, I mean, these are things that there's a lot of progress that is being made, but there's a lot of difficulties in the community as well.
Definitely. And I think that's a great kind of segue or transition to, I want to talk about some of the stuff that you're involved with within the LGBTQ plus community, because there are a lot of really great resources, like you said. Obviously, a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
A lot of, the community has to come together and support and have resources for people in these communities. But I did want to talk about some that are existing today and that you've been a big part of.
Yeah.
So can we talk about Pride a little bit? Because I have to say, when the Pride event was at Joanne's, my wife and I lived down the street, and we would walk to it like every year, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
So it's a really great event, and I feel like I only know the surface level of what that organization is. So can you kind of give us a little deeper insight into what Pride is and what they do, or what that organization does in this community?
Yeah. So it has a very interesting history, how it all evolved. The whole, tracing it all the way back, it started as this kind of like customer appreciation picnic that some of the bars in the area would put on.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's, just in case, people don't know this, there used to be a lot of LGBTQ plus bars in Green Bay.
Okay.
So they actually put on like this customer appreciation picnic that slowly kind of started to grow. Then in the 90s, it turned into a Pride picnic. And then in 2007, it turned into Northeastern Wisconsin Pride Alive.
Yep.
And that first year, there was about, I think, 300 people who attended. So it's funny how it was written in the newspaper, because it was written as like only 300 people showed up. Like, it was very shady,
Okay.
But it was 2007. So then, for years and years and years, about 12 years, we were at Joanne's Park, which was great. But over the years, we really outgrew the space. So in 2019, we moved to the Brown County Fairgrounds. And when we were supposed to have our event in July that year, and a massive storm came through and like ripped all of our tents out of the ground, destroyed all of our vendor tables.
No.
About an hour before we were supposed to open. So we actually ended up having to cancel Pride that year. And then we, thanks to some generous donations and some work from like Corey Chisel, who's one of the people for Mila Music out in Appleton and stuff, we were able to bring the event back in September of that year. And that year we had about 14 to 15,000 people who attended the event. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's insane.
It's the second largest LGBTQ plus event in the whole state, just behind Milwaukee Pride.
And what is it? 3 days? 2 days?
So that year was actually only 1 day, so it was crazy.
It was 13 to 15,000 people in 1 day?
In 1 day. So that's why we needed to go to the fairgrounds.
That's
why
bananas.
Yeah. So it was definitely nuts.
Were you guys expecting that many people?
We were expecting about 10. So,
it wasn't too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about 50% more.
Yeah. I mean, but we were super happy with it, though. I mean,
what was the big draw that year? Was it just like, because maybe, it had been away for so long, or was there a big act, or was there something?
Well, so I think part of it was being in September meant that we were able to work more with the colleges that were in the area, because kids weren't gone for the summer.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
And families aren't on the move as much in September because school, so whether it's elementary, middle, high school, they've all resumed at that point.
Some of our best weather is in September too.
Honestly, I would agree.
It was a beautiful day. And and then of course COVID came, which screwed us up. So we didn't have an event for 2 years. And then last year was the first time we've had the event in a while. So also at the fairgrounds, still very successful, but not quite at that 2019 level. But I think we're going to get there. It's just going to keep growing. It's going to keep being an incredible event, and I think really the thing about Pride that's amazing is it's an event that you can go to and you can have a good time. But what Pride means, what that event means to queer people is different than what Oktoberfest might mean for a straight person. So what I mean by that is I was 18 years old when I went to my first Pride, and it was at Joannes Park at the time. And I had just moved.
What year was that?
So that would have been 2015. So I had just moved about 9 months prior, I think. So I hadn't been in the area super long. And I was, working through like what my identity was. At the time, I would say, I'm not going to tell anybody that I'm gay, but if they ask me, I'm not going to lie, which seemed like a healthy choice at 18, but wasn't. But I went to Pride. I went to Joannes Park. It was my first time I ever went there. And it completely changed the trajectory of my life.
Wow.
I think the first thing that I realized was I didn't know there were so many gay people in the world, right? Which is so funny thinking about being at a Pride event in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and saying that I didn't know there was that many gay people,
Right.
The irony,
Right.
So,
right.
And it was the first time I ever saw a drag queen.
Okay.
And it was the first time that I feel like I was really introduced to the diversity that exists within the community. And it's probably one of the first times I ever learned about intersectionality within the community. So it completely changed my life. And I was like, I don't know what I have to do, but I got to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Like, I got to be here next year. I got to be doing this. And it was incredible. And
now you've been a committee member for 9 years, right?
Yeah. And every single year, I've had people tell me like that coming to our event gave them the courage to transition. We had somebody who told us that it was because of our event and what it meant to them that they didn't take their own life. And
wow.
These
powerful.
Are people who are sometimes people who are coming to this event, like they're struggling, like they need community, they need a sense of belonging, and to be surrounded by
it's one of the basic community, and having people that you can trust and rely on is just as much of a basic human need as a lot of other things. So that's awesome. Can you kind of give the listeners just a little bit of insight, because I know there's more to Pride than just the event, right? So it's also, you guys, there's sales of food and drinks and all of this stuff. Where does the funding then kind of go after the event, and what kind of things is that doing in the community, and specifically for the LGBTQ plus community?
Yeah. So now Pride Alive is a committee of a larger organization that recently just rebranded itself to Northeastern Wisconsin Pride. Okay. So I'm the vice president for that organization, and what we do is Pride. Essentially, a lot of the money that Pride makes goes back to Pride the next year. Like it's an expensive event,
Yeah, that makes sense.
But prior to COVID, we did do different. So usually every year we would hold a gala at the PAC, which was a big fundraising event more for that parent organization. And then we had like different scholarships that would be available to LGBTQ plus college students, and then some other programs. And we've worked with other organizations in the area, especially for trans individuals, because when you are transitioning and you change your name, you have to publish your name in the newspaper 3 times, which is a lot of money. So some of the things that we've done before is help other organizations that will sponsor trans people to work through some of those costs just to change their name.
I had no idea about that.
I don't know if you saw my face. I was just
like, what?
Yeah, that's crazy. My mind is kind of blown by that. Like, how do you even go about getting your name published 3 times?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never tried to publish my name in the newspaper before, but yeah, I mean, like, and that's part of what I like to call the queer experience. Is there's a lot of barriers and things that exist for us that people don't know about, and that kind of suck. So
I would say. Wow. I always have to do this. Katie, do you have, because I'm more of an extroverted person as well, so I could sit here and throw questions and have conversation all day, and sometimes I feel like I talk over Katie.
I just like listening to it.
But I always try to stop and give her a few opportunities, or else I don't mean to do it. But
no, that's okay.
Ahead.
So I know that last year we had a content creator come to Napalese, and
Joey.
Yeah.
Awesome dude.
And when he went there, I remember like it is one of the only gay bars in Green Bay.
Yeah.
So, and I know that there's like a little bit of history with like the door.
Yeah.
And all of that kind of stuff. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. So, let me figure out the right way to talk about it. So Naps was opened in 1982.
Isn't it one of the oldest gay bars in Wisconsin?
Yeah, so it's the second oldest.
Yeah.
We usually say second continuously operating
because that makes sense.
There's a lot of bars that are older out there, so all the ones in Green Bay now are closed, but the only one that's been around longer than Naps is This Is It in Milwaukee.
Okay.
And they actually almost closed during COVID, but Trixie Mattel bought half of it, so she's
from Crivets, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a very, very
That's
popular
insane.
Yeah, I've heard,
yeah.
Anyway,
I won't go into it, but
was she not just in Green Bay?
She was in Oshkosh for her Trixie Katya show.
Yes,
so
that's where I saw it. Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
Sorry.
So Naps opened in '82. They opened on South Broadway. So they actually opened. There is a empty field right next to that restaurant called I think it's like Our Place.
Oh yeah.
Our Place, yeah.
So Naps used to be right next to it.
Okay.
I like 90% sure that's where it was, So, but what happened was in 1999, the redistricting authority, not to like call anybody out, but like they actually, I don't know how you would call it, they deemed Napalese and another business in the area as blighted. So the other business in the area was an adult bookstore and a gay bar. So truly what it felt like was that these were the two businesses that they were trying to push out of the area as they were trying to transform what they wanted Broadway to look like. So they actually forced Naps out of the building. So the funny part is Naps closed on their last day of business on South Broadway at about like 1 o'clock in the morning and reopened at 11 a.m. the next day at their new location.
Holy crap.
Wow.
So it was some work. Yeah, at the time.
And what year was that?
So it was 1999.
99, okay.
So they moved into their current location, which is on Cedar Street, so right on the corner of Main and Baird, right by the corner of Main and Baird. And then they moved in there, and there was a lot of issues. So the front door that faces a road / sidewalk, a lot of people would kick open the front door and they'd throw fireworks and bottle rockets and trash like into the bar, So it was a very unwelcoming kind of thing. So at the time, the owner, Nancy, sealed the front door. So you could not open the front door from the outside. It was basically an emergency exit at that point.
Right.
And then everybody else entered through the side door. So in 2021, I was contacted by Martha, who is a local gender diverse activist, and she said, I kind of have this idea. I want to put up like this little mural on the side of Naps or whatever. Maybe have a little party afterwards.
Party.
Yeah. So, but see, what happened was I got a hold of it, right? So I
got my PR skills,
right? So she's like, I want to do this little mural, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. How about 12 by 24 feet? So we ended up. Started working on this mural, and we had this amazing reception from community members and patrons at the bar and businesses in the area. I remember a man, when this mural construction started, there was a man at the bar who was crying because he said that he never thought in his lifetime would he see a symbol for LGBTQ plus people like this. Mm-hmm. And that was just incredibly powerful, So as this started to grow and as more businesses wanted to like sponsor or make a donation or get involved, we were like, you know what, like let's make this bigger. Let's do more,
Yep.
you know? So one of the ideas we came up with was to replace the front door at Naps. Cause you know, we were like, it's 2021, at the time, and you know, it's time, you know, we're going to reopen this front door. So on August 21st of 2021, we had a huge block party. The lieutenant governor was there, the mayor was there, and a couple other great elected officials who came out to show their support. And, you know, we dropped the mural tarp, and so the new mural was unveiled, and the mayor actually took the wrapping off of the front door.
That's awesome.
So it was really great. It was kind of like the beckoning of a new era for queer people in Green Bay.
I was gonna say, what a pivotal point. That was for people in Green Bay.
Yeah,
you know?
And we haven't had any trouble whatsoever yet. So I shouldn't say yet.
Yeah, I don't think
we don't have any trouble. You know. I mean, the thing though is like we have an amazing relationship with the Green Bay Police Department too. Like they come to our events every summer when we have, you know, our celebrations and stuff. Like they were at the mural unveiling. Actually, after the Club Q shooting, they personally reached out to us to let us know that they were going to be keeping an extra eye on us, and that if we needed anything, that they were there for us. So, I mean, we have an incredible relationship with them, and so I don't think we're going to have any issues, and I ain't worried about it because whoever decides to cause some issues is going to have a lot of people to answer to.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Absolutely. So actually, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, can you explain for people who don't know what NAPS is, like what a powerful thing is in that in our community?
More than just a bar.
Yeah, so Naps is a great place to go and get a drink. You know, just 1351 Cedar Street.
See you there.
1351.
We have multiple events every month. Yeah, so Naps is a really interesting place because I have learned so much by being at Naps, and a lot of it is because it is one of the only physical spaces that is specifically LGBTQ plus in all of Green Bay.
Yep.
So like there are 2 gay bars in Green Bay, and there really aren't that, you know, unless you count like UWGB's Pride Center, you know, there really aren't any LGBTQ plus specific spaces that exist. So, you know, Naps is like a second home to me. It's like I feel like all those people really are my family.
And how are you involved there too? Don't forget that part.
Yeah, so no, I do all of their events and marketing, social media stuff.
How many
at
jobs
Napalese.
do you have?
What's that?
How many jobs do you have?
Too many.
Making that like 6.
Yeah. Do I include being married in there too?
For sure.
Yeah, probably.
So too many.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't.
But yeah, no, Naps. So the thing about Naps is like it's a place where I feel like people get a sense of belonging for who they are. So one of the things that Naps has done for about 8 years now is they do a cross-dressing / transgender social gathering on the first Thursday of every month. And there are about 30 to 35 individuals who come to that. And these are people who are like, who will say, I'm too scared to go out in public, but I'm safe to do this here. And like, we have a community room back there, and then we also have the bar area, and they come to Naps. And sometimes that's the only place that people can really be authentic, right? But it's also about our culture and our history too. Obviously, Naps has a very long history. But, you know, we have multiple drag shows every month. And as much as I love being able to go to a drag show and have a good time, like, it's culturally relevant to who we are. Like, drag queens were the beginning of the known movement, right? So drag queens were very much a big deal in the late 60s at the Stonewall riots, as well as in the 70s during the first Gay Liberation Front marches and protests and stuff. So it matters to all of us that we're able to host something like that. Yep. And, you know, it's a place to go that everybody is like you. I mean, it's really, really difficult to only to be like the only gay person. Like I'm the only gay person at work. I'm the only gay person, you know, at Target, unless I'm with my husband, you know, but you always just kind of feel like it's just you and that's it. And people don't get you and people don't understand what you're trying to say because they just don't have the same experiences. Right. So it means a lot to a lot of us. And I think after the Club Q shooting, it was a place for us to collectively grieve and to think about the very real dangers that exist for us on a daily basis, whether we're at a bar or out in public in general. And, you know, we had a huge fundraiser for that in November. We raised over $4,000, which
I remember that.
Yeah, it was a big deal. It was a lot of fun. So we also give back, too, because, like, let me tell you something about these homos. They love animals. They love animals. So we do a bunch of...
I mean, everybody loves animals.
Right, but, like, gay people...
Another level?
It's another level.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Gay people love their animals. So, I mean, we've done fundraisers for, I think, almost like every animal shelter in the area.
Really?
Yeah, and they're usually corresponding with a drag show. The drag queens will usually like donate tips or they donate their show pay. So it's kind of a really big deal. We have this huge
awesome.
Community fundraiser aspect.
The crossover we didn't know we needed.
Yeah, like gay people
I love it.
Fundraising.
Yeah.
You know?
I was going to say animal shelters, but
gay people and animal shelters. Yeah. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's really fun.
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
Do you work with like HEA and?
Yeah, we've worked with them before.
Yeah.
I remember I actually dropped off I dropped off the NAPS donation check after a fundraiser we did for them, and there was just like this puppy staring at me, and I was like, dude, I can't have pets. Like my apartment doesn't allow pets, so
I can't. I almost rescued a pet yesterday.
She did. It was one of our coworkers when their like sister or something found a dog.
Two puppies in a farm field,
and like they were the cutest dogs I've ever seen. Do you have a picture?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Are you not a dog guy?
Well, so here's the thing. Remember how you asked me how many jobs I have?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
valid.
Yeah.
I mean,
so,
valid.
But I mean, it's still a cute puppy.
Look at him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's super cute. Yeah.
Show the camera, Katie. Show the camera. There you go.
Yeah, that's a cutie.
Great Pyrenees.
It's going to be a big dog, though.
Oh, that's going
to
be
a big dog.
Anyways, sorry.
Yeah,
Sidetracked.
no, I don't have the time to give a dog the attention it deserves.
Yeah.
So I will not
neither
get
do
a
I.
pet.
I have two.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He's got kids, too.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, I just
lot.
personally believe you shouldn't get a pet unless you can take care of it the way it deserves to be taken care of and love it the way it deserves to be loved. And I'm going to be honest with you, too. My husband, he's not going outside in the winter to walk that dog, and I'm definitely not going to. So I'm like, guess we're not getting a dog unless we move to Florida. Well, okay, so that's a really funny story, too. So we actually met in July of 2019. The same day that we canceled Pride.
Oh wow, okay.
So the storm came through Pride and just kind of like wrecked everything. We had to cancel Pride. There was also another tornado watch / warning that was on the way. So we didn't want people to start showing up to the fairgrounds. But so then, you know, we kind of got over the initial shock of having to cancel Pride, and we were thinking about how could we still do something for the day, you know? And we actually reached out to Napalese. So it all comes full circle. We reached out to Napalese, and they said that we could host the day's drag shows that we were going to have at Pride. We could host them at the bar. So we went out there, you know, so we went to Naps and in the evening for those, and I saw one of my friends, and I went over to say hi to him, and he was talking to Robert, who's my husband, and he was like, "Oh, this is Robert," and I was like, "Nice to meet you," you know, and in my head I was like,
"Hey, Robert,
he cute, right?" So the way that I always tell this story is, I'm not very good at flirting, you know, so Robert had dropped something. I don't remember what it was. And he bent over to pick it up, and I saw a tattoo on his back. So like his shirt rolled up a little bit, and I saw this tattoo. And I don't know how to flirt very well at all, right? But I was like, oh, so you have a tramp stamp, you know? And he was like, it's not a tramp stamp. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. I'm kind of looking like a tramp stamp to me, you know? And he's like, it's not a tramp stamp. And I was like, okay, whatever you say. And then right there at the bar, which, isn't super uncommon in queer spaces or gay spaces, especially gay bars, he took his shirt off. And I was like, boom, sold. That's it.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah. I was like married. So yeah, that's how we met.
That.
Yeah.
That's a cute story for sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I like to say that, whatever you believe in, I feel like it was the universe, God, whatever, that kind of like pushed us together because, he would have been at Pride that year, but I'm so busy at Pride running around like crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
I never would have had the chance to meet him or ever even talk to him, except for the storm. So, it worked out for my love life. So
that's awesome.
I love that for you.
Yeah, it was awesome. So
very cool. Well, we've covered a lot of ground so far, and we're
talk about my actual
40
job.
minutes
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is, and we've talked about a lot of stuff, right? There you go. But we're kind of on this theme right now for the next couple months of looking forward to summer travel, and bringing people into Green Bay. And I know you're fairly new to the National Railroad Museum, but we should talk about that a little bit because I know there's some really cool stuff coming up for people who might be traveling to the area. So something coming up this weekend.
Yes.
And then I believe you have some events coming up that you wanted to chat about as well.
Sales and all that.
Yeah. So the funny part is I feel like I'm not going to sound as like good or fluent speaking about my actual job.
That's all right because you've been there. Let me
do
this.
the other
Let me
stuff
do this
for 9 years.
Let me do this for you. We are welcoming Justis Tenpenny. He is the marketing and communications director for the National Railroad Museum for the last only 3 weeks.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh shoot.
He's doing great.
Yeah.
He's doing great.
Great.
So we have that caveat out there. But if we don't hit something or you need a little more information, the Google machine, National Railroad Museum.
Works wonders.
Yeah, so this weekend we're doing the Great Bunny Train. So the Great Bunny Train is fun for children of all ages. So tickets are on sale. Tickets can also be purchased at the door as well.
Okay.
So the Great Bunny Train it's going to be a crazy day. So we have magic, balloon animals, an Easter egg hunt, arts and crafts. Your ticket purchase also gets you a meet and greet with the Easter Bunny. I will not be the Easter Bunny.
Close your ears, kids.
I will not be the Easter Bunny. It also includes a ride on one of our 4 train cars that are hooked up. So, Great Bunny Train, right? As well as like general admission to the museum. So there is like a ton of stuff that is going to be going on, and it is going to be awesome. I am very excited about it, despite the fact that like kids aren't my favorite animal in the world.
Mammal.
I mean, I'll second that.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really great. There are standard tickets and premium tickets. So standard tickets are $17 per person. Anybody above the age of 2 does need a ticket.
Okay.
And then premium tickets are $25. So premium tickets, you get to kind of ride on like the cooler cars. So our Dothan train is celebrating its 100th birthday this year.
Oh my word.
And it was previously restored, I think, in 2018.
What's a Dothan train?
It's the name of it. Right?
Girl, yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, come on, I was doing so good.
I was gonna say you're acting like you
Girl,
got experience.
Girl, she was acting like she knew what she was talking about for a second. Okay. Yeah, so it was the Dothan Diner. So it's an old dining train. I made a Facebook post about it a little bit ago, so I kind of know about. I don't know why, but yeah, what is a Dothan? I don't know. So
it's just the name
come
of
and
the
learn.
train.
Right, just come and learn. I'll learn with you.
There you go.
We'll figure it out together.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So
but,
with the premium tickets, can you get the premium tickets at the door, or do those have to be purchased in advance?
You can buy those at the door as well.
Okay.
Yep. So we're gonna have that available, and then in June, June 16th, 17th, and 18th. We are having our Paw Patrol Palooza event.
That sounds fun.
So this is like where you cue the Paw Patrol theme song on podcast.
I got it.
And
I'll get a copyright strike
for it.
I'll get a copyright strike for that if I drop it in. So
that's okay. You could sing.
Sing it himself.
She can sing.
Yeah.
No, we're
you
not
can.
You were singing a little bit earlier. That sounded good.
What was I singing?
Yes.
We were.
She doesn't give herself enough credit.
The
She's a good
Greatest
singer.
Showman. Yeah. This is what dreams are made of. That's what you were singing.
I was thinking Hillary Duff.
Oh, maybe that was earlier in the day. I don't know. I wasn't there for that. So I'll take some High School Musical if you're going on request, though. So it's a very millennial thing. So that is our Paw Patrol Palooza. So kids have a chance to come and meet all of their favorite rescue dogs.
Sky.
I don't know what they call them. Sky, Chase. The bulldozer guy.
Rubble. There's Marshall.
Yes. What's the woman?
Sky.
Okay. Yes. Obviously,
there's multiple.
I don't have kids,
There's
so,
Everest. Yeah. Everest is another woman.
He won't be there. He was booked at another event.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I mean, they have to leave
They're
somebody.
busy.
Yeah, they have to leave somebody to like rescue the general population.
Right.
You know, like it's like not every police officer can have off on the same day.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know,
They have to usually save the mayor's chicken.
exactly. So
Did you know that?
Whatever that means.
He always does that to me.
Yeah, I know. It's just me and you now, girl.
The mayor in the show has a chicken and is always getting in trouble, and they have to save the chicken.
Oh my word.
Jeez.
Yeah.
At least you know.
I would just cook it at that point. I mean, I'm a vegetarian though, but my husband eats meat. So, so Paw Patrol, I mean, you know, it's a chance to ride on some of the different train cars that we have. That one you can also ride on the open air car, which is a ton of fun. I'm super excited to be able to ride on that personally. Not for Paw Patrol, but, you know, like
Not dress up as a bunny.
Not dress up as a bunny. No, you can't breathe in those things.
No, it's
You also
crazy.
can't see. You can't see either.
Hopefully
I'm
they don't
a
have
talker.
you get in.
I'm a talker.
How did you manage that?
So Paw Patrol is going to be a lot of fun. You know, same kind of thing. Tickets can be purchased, you know, online right now on our website, and we have a lot of cool promotion going out around that for. As we get closer. A lot of cool promotion as we get closer. So,
cool.
Yeah, definitely. We'll happy to help in any way we can with that as well. So those are the upcoming things for. Is there anything else in the summer, early summer, late spring that's going on that we can get some people who are planning trips to Green Bay to get excited about?
You know,
He's like, your guess is as good as mine.
right. I mean, I would actually what I would say is I would encourage, you know, some folks to look at the National Railroad Museum membership program. So individual memberships start at $65. But before I lose you, this is the thing that's really cool about this membership. There are participating museums that kind of participate in this whole, I don't know, database of membership or whatever.
Consortium.
Right. And if you go to a museum that is 90 miles away from your home address that is participating, you get in for free.
Oh, that's cool.
So our CFO took her son down to Chicago on spring break and actually saved over $250 on membership for ticketing. Yeah. So she was like, it almost made Chicago affordable, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, bet, right? Yeah. So you know, if there's people who are coming to Green Bay, I would encourage them to look at, you know, maybe who is participating in that around them, or maybe even who's participating 90 miles for their address, because they can take advantage of that here in Green Bay. They could take advantage of it at home as well.
Right.
And it supports our museum. You know, we are a nonprofit organization. So a lot of the work that we do focuses on like education, inspiring that next generation, and preserving like this really incredible piece of history.
Right.
Definitely. So I do want to ask about something else with the National Railroad Museum. We had a great conversation yesterday kind of about where you want to see things go. I would love to chat about that again, because I think it's a really cool vision around, you know, expanding from, you know, just the family activities like the Paw Patrol, like the Easter egg hunt, like the Polar Express, like the Great Pumpkin Train, like that sort of thing. And so what's your vision around that? Because I thought it was really interesting when we were talking about it the other day.
Yeah. I think if I can remember, because I was probably thinking off the cuff there, so just putting me on the spot in that. Yeah. I was like, dude, I'm getting grilled right now.
You said that's gonna be easy.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, lay out my strategic plan. Got it. 3 weeks in. Yeah, so
no, you don't need your strategic plan. Just kind of like it was interesting that we were talking about,
like the rails and ales.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So the National Railroad Museum does a lot of really awesome events. We have 2 events that are more geared towards, like you can still have your family there, but they're not specifically for family or small children. So that would be rails and ales, and then our dining train experience. So you can literally like come and sit on a train and you go for a train ride and you get served a 4-course meal, and it's like so roasted duck. Like it is like fancy, like that kind of stuff you're not eating at home. You know what I mean? So those are really awesome events, right? And there's a lot of more of that younger adult demographic that comes in. But that's what I want to see, because our 2 biggest demographics right now are families with young children, which is awesome for them, and older demographics. So we get these people who just like love trains. Yeah. Yes, they just love trains, and they could talk circles around me, and I'm like, cool. So I'm learning, but I'm also thinking about like everybody in the middle of that, right? So like I want to make the National Railroad Museum a place where when you're with your partner, you're thinking about like, what are we going to do for date night tonight? Like maybe we could go to the museum, because we have really awesome exhibits and experiences. And if you're into ghost hunting and stuff too, the Eisenhower is haunted. The Pullman is also kind of haunted. There's some conflicting stories about that, but the Eisenhower is for sure haunted. We've had ghost hunters there quite a bit and stuff. So there's a episode. There's like a episode on Amazon Prime about us. Really? So some ghost hunting thing. So
okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, but I want to make us a destination where like younger individuals or young adults are interested in coming. And I also think a great way to do that is through events as well. So Rails and Ales is great. Like it's a lot of fun. It's awesome to see everybody there. It's a really cool experience, but also like not everything in Green Bay has to be centered around drinking either. So like maybe there are some events that we can do that can draw people in to just kind of have some fun in general, like even like a date night at the museum would be pretty dope. So
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, I think the way that I see it is we have these bigger demographics, and I'm super excited to work with them and, to learn from them, and to see kids who are like super excited to see a Easter bunny, they gotta know it's fake, right? Like maybe. So I don't know. You're the one with the kids, right? So
I didn't want to say, I'll just say it in general. Of all the characters, the Easter bunny to kids tends to be the most scary. Yeah. So don't be surprised if there's some tears.
Yeah, no, I'm not putting it on.
I'm not
putting
it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm not doing it.
You did it. So what did you do it for then?
Marketing video to,
okay.
What was it? Queen, Don't Stop Me Now. Do you have it queued up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you really?
No, but I remember seeing the video.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Anyway.
I got to see it.
We're just having some fun. Yeah. So.
This is great podcasting, waiting to see this.
They already got you in the...
Oh, that's the dough. That's the dough thing. That's the dough thing.
The dining car.
Yeah, that was the Josephine.
My word.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's a good one. That song's been stuck in my head ever since I posted that video too. And it's been a week.
That's a great.
Yeah, like my dancing on
great dance one. I like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a couple blooper ones of like the twerking and the stinky
release
leg.
the blooper reels.
Release maybe not on our
social media.
Yeah. So go check that out. That was on. So that's on Facebook. Do you want to drop real quick where they can find out all the information about the National Railroad Museum?
Yeah. So nationalrrmuseum.org. So you can check out all of our events that are coming up. You can learn more about the National